कुछ ना कहो, कुछ भी ना कहो, क्या कहना है, क्या सुनना है, मुझको पता है, तुमको पता है, समय का ये पल थम सा गया है और इस पल में कोई नहीं है, बस एक मैं हूँ, बस एक तुम हो.
Wow, 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 wow. Lovely, Dharti. I think I was hearing this on an audio call, and just like that, I thought, let me just pull you onto a Zoom call. So thank you so much for joining us on just like that.
It's always a pleasure talking to you, Sahil. You come up with the best ideas and it's so engaging. It's so much fun. Thank you. You bring out
Lovely.
you bring out the unusual in people. Thank
And
you.
you've been known to be so unusual, right? Born and brought up in Ahmedabad, moved to Madras, uh, tried and tasted and explored so many different industries, uncharted territories. Your life has not been short of a mystery. Why don't you unravel that mystery for us today and tell our viewers a little bit more about who is Dharti? क्योंकि धरती तो बोझ है, but that's the way the world looks at it, right? But Dharti Desai has a very interesting story, and I've been privy to some snippets of it, but more than happy to hear you, Dharti.
Thank you, Sahil. So my dad would say a lot when I was growing up that my daughter has rollerblades for feet. Um, then again, he must have thought very deeply. I have no idea how intuitively he did this, but he named me Dharti and made sure that I stayed grounded no matter what I did. So while I was rollerblading and zipping through so many things in life, I've always tried to remain grounded. And I'm very grateful for that wonderful family that I am a small part of. They really make me who I am. They've been with me through everything. So, like you said, born in Ahmedabad, went to school there until grade 5 and then moved to Madras, which is now Chennai, of course. And I think Madras, in a lot of ways, was the turning point for us as a family, for me individually as well. One of the things it did was it brought us all very close, very close together because till then, dad was always busy. Mom had her social, engagements and all of that. And my brother was busy with his friends. So we're a small family, just the four of us. And so when we moved to this new, and I don't know if you can relate to this probably, but going from Ahmedabad in Gujarat to Madras in Tamil Nadu is like going to another country, right? It's a big shift.
Absolutely.
So
Huge shift, right?
yeah, exactly. And so we just kind of naturally bonded. A lot of family activities and fun things like that. But I think some things leave a deeper mark and they have a bigger meaning when you look back and connect the dots. So when I was going into grade 6, it was a CBSE school, and I had to take a third language. And my brother, my older brother, very wisely said to me, "Why don't you go for French?" And I said, "Huh, what the heck is that animal all about?" And because his logic was, it was very sound, right? And what was he, 15 years old or whatever, right? So he says to me, "It's all written in English. Tamil, you'll have a really hard time because you're not going to be able to read it and write it. So why don't you?" And it's basic because when you take it as a third language, it's a beginner level, so it wouldn't be complicated. I said, "Yeah, let me do that." And that's it. That's been that one, singular thing in my life that has shadowed me through everything that I've done, everything that later on I would do in life. It never left me and I never left it. So we had this amazing, my first love affair was with the French language. And I fell so deeply in love that I have never looked back. So I started first in school, of course, and then
Yeah.
loved the language so much that I decided to join the Alliance Française, which was in Madras at the time. My mom, and I thank her for being this power woman. She said, I will find it for you. We researched, looked at, whatever was available, made some phone calls, back then. And she said, look, there is you want to speak the language, because that was my big goal. I said, look, this writing part is, fantastic, but I want to be able to speak like the French do. And I was fascinated, right? And so I joined the Alliance, and I think I did every course that any Alliance had to offer. And then all of a sudden, Dad had to move to Bombay. And I was so happy. I think the biggest thing for me was the fact that there was an Alliance in Bombay. So I joined the Alliance in Bombay. I did my college in Bombay, so 5 years at Wilson College, and it was such a lot of fun. Did whatever I had to academically. So I have a bachelor's in sociology, but French was like my, this constant go-to space for growing as a person. And I think I really, I owe it all to that. And just continued with that in Bombay. Then after my graduation, moved back to Ahmedabad because that was our hometown. And by then Dad had retired and he was done with all his, various moves all over the country. And so we moved back. And again, there was an Alliance in Ahmedabad. And so that was, again, fortuitous. And so I continued. I did my Diplôme Supérieur from the Alliance in Ahmedabad.
Actually, this is very interesting, right? Because as a person, you get bored very, very easily. But French still continued to remain that one thing that you kept going back to. How?
That's such a sharp observation, Sahil. You're so right. I do tend to, keep looking at new things. I'm a very curious person by nature. And I like to try different things. And I do believe that's the wonderful thing about, our life, and that, we have so many choices and so many things you can do. But I think that soul connect happens with very few things in life. And French certainly for me was one of those rare soul connects. And it was never about, what I can get from it. And I think that's the key, right? Because usually we're always looking to have short-term, gains out of something, or long-term even, or, we have a plan. With French, there was nothing but just pure love. That was it, and so I think that's probably why I, never gave up on it. And it just went.
Absolutely unconditional. Huh?
Absolutely unconditional. Exactly. That's it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And so, and I think I've also been surrounded by a lot of incredible energy, incredible folks, starting with my family, of course, as I mentioned. But there was a director at the Alliance when I moved to Ahmedabad. And I actually ended up getting a job there. My first job was in Ahmedabad for an American company. It was a collaboration between LB and UPS. So it was Lakshmi Chand Bhagaji, the local courier service that had tied up with UPS of the US. And I, just opened the paper, found, they wanted I think it was a customer service or something like that. Went for it. I was working there and I used to go for evening classes at the Alliance. They had a director that transitioned while I was finishing my Diplôme Supérieur. And this new gentleman who came in, Monsieur Pascal Chazot, he was this, those rare people that you meet in life that just, again, leave a, lifetime impression on you. He was one of those people. And he would talk to me and, he would talk about my, courses, and, I would go and watch movies there, get books and all of that. One fine day, he just grabs me as I'm walking in and he says, with full drama and flair. And he says, of course, he said it all in French, but I'll kind of try to, say it in English the way he would have said it, with all the gestures. I need your help. I need your help, Dharti. And I said, oh God, what happened? Drags me into his office, closes the door. Asseyez-vous, sit down, sit down, sit down. And I said, okay, what's up? And he says to me that he needs my help to teach a class. Okay. And I said, my first reaction, just a natural one. I said, are you crazy? I have never taught and I have no interest in teaching. I cannot teach. There's no way. No. I will help you. I will do everything. Swati, so one of the professors was actually going to go on maternity leave and she had to go sooner than anticipated. And so it was just for a few weeks, just to end her class so nobody's hung, without finishing the course. And he was desperate. Like, he came home. I said, no, I cannot do it. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, blah, blah, blah. Walked out. Yeah. Do we have enough time, Sahil?
Yeah, of course.
Rambling.
No.
This is going to be a tough one. Bring everything into whatever minutes that we have to do it in. But yeah, so again, I owe a lot to that man, that crazy guy. He came home, begged my parents, he said, can you please? And my dad, again, was like, go for it. What the hell? He's, it's a favor. Just go do it. And that's how my teaching career began. And then I taught at the Alliance in Ahmedabad. I taught at the Alliance in New York when I moved here and continued to teach. I taught celebrities here in New York as well. And it just stayed with me. I went to my first
Wow.
visit out of the country, out of India, was to France. I went for a teacher's training program. Again, thanks to
Right.
Shazo. Came back and trained other teachers, and it was just so much fun. Became
So
the assistant.
passion, unconditional love, uncharted territory, French connection. How did that really move into the various businesses that you really did or you took on or explored, which were definitely something you never learned, right? But
No,
something that you just encountered, bumped into, and did really well. Tell us very quickly a little bit about that as well.
I think that's really just to do with my nature. I love to try new things and keep learning. I'm a very curious person, as I said. And so when I was in New York teaching at the Alliance, one of my students was in direct marketing. I had so I was lucky to be teaching a lot of executives and a lot of corporate folks as well, and actors, Hollywood actors. Um, and so it was a amazing experience to have all these different genres of life. This gentleman was someone I was really fascinated with because I did really understand direct marketing. I knew marketing because of my whole family and all of that. And back then he was like, what the heck is that animal, right? So anyway, he was the one who introduced me. So the student became the mentor after kind of teaching him for 2 years, jumped into it. And I used to go back to India very often. And I said to myself, why can't we do this in India, right? And so every time I'd go back, I'd want to do something, different in India. And I would keep dragging my family into, let's do this and let's try that. And that's how we set up our first company. The whole idea was to get into insert media. Banking was of course coming into its own in India. It was just the perfect time to be late 90s, right? um, and so we set up our company just like that. Family, I dragged everybody and made them change their mind about what they were planning to do with their life and set up our first company. And then the second and the third, and everything has just been, you look back in hindsight, it's all very wise and it makes sense, but as you're doing it day to day, it's just what you take on and what you're willing to. I had the balance with all the folks in the family, of course, and then eventually other people that started working for us. And so while I'm this perceivably mad woman who's always full of ideas and wanting to do different things, something connects somewhere. I think I have that ability to see things, even if they're full of risk and full of challenges. And then I have people around me that balance it all. And so it's been
Yeah,
a roller coaster. It's just been a constant roller coaster. But I love that. I love the thrill of, not sitting in one place and just always wanting to do something more and different. Because we all say life is too short, but what do we do about it really?
No, no,
Yeah.
very true, very true. Because in fact, yeah, I had an opportunity to work with you on the whole Thai Global, which you haven't really spoken about, but the Thai Women Initiative that you're really contributing your time, effort, and energy to. And I think you're doing a fab job, right? Because if you look at it from the way Mother Earth is, Mother Earth doesn't really say no to anyone, doesn't really stand in judgment, is just so holistic. And I think the way your father kept your name as Dharti, I think the way you take on everything that comes your way and make such a fantastic job of it, I think it's just wonderful. It's really, really awesome. So, Dharti, thanks so much for joining us at really short notice from a song on an audio call to a song ad just like that. I think this is a fantastic conversation. Any one of two liners for the road?
Live every moment, Sahil. And I think you do a great job too, by the way. You have been such a big help to Thai women. You were just this plain outsider, came to talk at one of the sessions, about HR and, helping all these women entrepreneurs. And here we are. And that's life, right? Just like that. But thank you right back.
Wonderful. Take care.
You
Stay
too.
safe.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.